On location on the Big Island, Hawaii, as I speak with Dr. Michael Sala in regards to anti-gravity and alien technology that's been suppressed for years. Did Admiral Wilson seek the truth in regards to the reverse engineered alien technology project? Get ready for new breaking news in regards to the new leaked memo right now on Third Phase of Moon.
I want to get to the point of the 2002 meeting with Dr. Eric Davis and Admiral Tom Wilson in regards to their efforts to find out about the program of reverse engineered alien tech.
In October of 2002, Admiral Tom Wilson met with a scientist, Dr. Eric Davis, about a meeting that occurred in 1997. And at this 1997 meeting, Admiral Wilson, he actually got information about a classified program that was run by a corporation. And he learned that this program involved the reverse engineering of an extraterrestrial spacecraft. And so when he demanded access, he had to go through a whole process to try and get access. And ultimately, he had to meet with 3 officials from this corporation that called themselves the Watch Committee. And they were the ones that made the decision as to who would be getting access to this program. And ultimately, he was denied access by this corporation. And so he was furious about that. And so he went actually up through the chain of command and went to another committee within the Pentagon demanding that he be given access. And this committee is the Special Access Program Oversight Committee, which is run by the Pentagon, and the same thing happened. They basically backed the corporation. So that basically showed the power of the corporation in terms of how it could control access to this program to reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology, and even people in the Pentagon could not be given access to it, and that there was this committee in the Pentagon that was backing this, that was supporting that process.
Did the private corporation, along with the Pentagon, not trust Admiral Wilson for some reason?
Basically, this oversight committee within the Pentagon backed the corporation that they did not trust Admiral Wilson. In other words, they did not think he was the sort of person that would fulfill whatever security protocols they had in place for having access to this special access program involving reverse engineering extraterrestrial technologies, which shows that no matter who you are, no matter what office you have or hold, no matter what rank you have within the military, if these committees and if this corporation decides that you don't have the right character, that you will not be given access to this. And by character, what we're talking about is someone that is willing to go along with the kind of unconstitutional process by which these kinds of programs are managed within the corporations, and basically the Pentagon committees support that.
So what do you think actually this private corporation was hiding from us and Admiral Wilson himself?
Because Admiral Wilson, as the Deputy Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, would have had oversight and detailed knowledge of a lot of special access programs that were being run within the Pentagon, including programs to do with secret spacecraft that had been developed by the US Air Force, by the NRO, and that the Defense Intelligence Agency was involved in. So he would have known a lot about these kinds of programs. So the Pentagon does have a secret space program where the Air Force and the Defense Intelligence Agency, the NRO, collaborate in putting up a lot of advanced technology into Earth orbit. So Wilson, I think, would have been very knowledgeable about that program back in 1997 because they had things up there. But the corporation didn't want to give him access to this particular program because they said that this involved reverse engineering extraterrestrial technologies, that they were having difficulty in kind of making progress in understanding how the technology was working, which I think was just a cover, that they didn't want him to have any information about this, because I think what they were truly hiding was that there is an actual corporate-run secret space program, which is using these advanced extraterrestrial technologies to basically reverse engineer some really advanced technologies that the corporations use for their secret space program. So basically, I think what was going on was that this corporation didn't want Admiral Wilson to get access to that particular program because they did not want him or the Defense Intelligence Agency knowing about this corporate-run secret space program that was basically being created out of this reverse-engineered alien technology that they were keeping secret even from the Pentagon and the Defense Intelligence Agency.
So whatever happened to Admiral Wilson? Where is he today?
When Admiral Wilson learned about this program in April 1997, he looked into it, he made inquiries, and ultimately he was denied access. And so in the process, he was threatened because he was pushing too hard to find out what this corporation was doing with this alien technology. He pushed too hard, he was threatened that he would lose 1 or 2 stars if he continued down that vein. So ultimately he basically backed off and just realized that he couldn't get access to this program. This basically led to him a few years later being promoted to become the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and that was a position he held up until the middle of 2002. And when he retired, then he had this meeting with Eric Davis to basically go over what had happened when he tried to gain access. And subsequently after that, he then went into retirement where he became vice president for some corporation, and obviously continues to work in the private sector using that inside knowledge he has about the way in which these special access programs are run to help that corporation win Pentagon contracts and so forth, which is how a lot of these senior officials do quite well after they retire.
Can you give us the actual name of this private corporation that tried to block the information from Admiral Wilson?
What we know about the corporation that blocked access to Admiral Wilson, in this transcript of the meeting he had with Eric Davis in 2002, he just basically refers to it as the top corporation out there. So to me, that's a sign that this is probably Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division. That was the particular corporation and the think tank that was trying to reverse engineer this alien technology and to use that for building future types of spacecraft that Lockheed Martin would be able to use. And it makes a lot of sense because in 1997, the former head of Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division, Ben Rich, was basically saying that Skunk Works had developed technology to take ET home. And so he was giving lectures where he was making this kind of off-the-cuff comment at the end of the lecture, showing a slide of a UFO. So it makes sense that this was Lockheed Martin, that they had denied access to Admiral Wilson at that time. And it wouldn't surprise me that after Wilson retired from the Defense Intelligence Agency, that Lockheed Martin probably thought that Wilson was the sort of guy that would actually make a good addition to their board of directors and offered him a vice president's position.
So what's your thoughts? Why is this information coming out now in the major media and everywhere else in regards to the UFO phenomenon?
I think the reason this is happening right now is that basically there is an effort to try and get the public up to general speed on these issues concerning some of the reverse engineered alien technologies and the secret spacecraft that have been built by the Air Force and by corporations that are actually in use right now secretly. Because Space Force, that is actually in the process of being created right now, the defense committees within both the House of Representatives and the Senate have actually approved the passage of Space Force. Because these two defense committees gave their approval for the creation of Space Force, that means that the legislation authorizing Space Force as a new branch of the military under the Department of the Air Force is going to happen. There's no question that this is going to happen in the next month or two. So we will have very soon the creation of Space Force. And so with the creation of Space Force, then you're going to have the institutional foundation, I believe, for the revelation of a secret space program that the Air Force has developed for decades, because Space Force will legitimize that. And with the announcement of this fleet of anti-gravity spacecraft that the Air Force has developed, along with stealth space stations, then you're going to have the Air Force in the position and the Pentagon in the position where at some point after that they can then reveal the existence of extraterrestrial life, but always use Space Force as a means of assuring the American public that they are in control.
Can you tell our viewers on how they can learn more about what you're saying and putting out there, Doctor?
You can go to my website, exopolitics.org, and there you'll find 3 articles. It's a 3-part series where I talk about this leaked document, and basically people can then find the references and can learn more about what's been going on, Space Force, and what we can expect in terms of disclosure.
Incredible information, Dr. Michael Salla. Now, I want to get your guys' opinions from around the world. What do you think about Michael Salla's statements in regards to Admiral Wilson being blocked by the Pentagon and this secret corporation in regards to alien reverse engineered tech? I want to get your comments below. Dr. Michael Salla, again, appreciate you being here with us right here at Third Phase of Moon.
Thanks for having me on. Good to be.
And you, thanks for joining us from around the world. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. We're not alone.